Hey everyone, welcome back to Hacked in the Dark, where we are wrapping up Deathwish by Ian Hart. Ian, where were we?
So, last week we left off with the battle against Orthane Kinslayer, who was attacking Scarlet Bay. The battle was going pretty well. The crew had successfully seen the enemies coming at long range, taken up one of the town's two defensive towers, maneuvered the heavy cannon around, and used it to blast apart many of the invading forces, taking out zombies, melting armor, and shooting one annoying sniper directly in the face. I think where we left off last time was the Ratha commander, the Lord of the Vampires, charging at the player's position, and Jack heroically blasted him to bits with elixir-soaked bullets. The other thing to keep in mind is that the enemy forces, their front line has now reached the townsfolk. So they're at the walls right now.
Okay, townsfolk threatened, but we kicked their asses so far.
So far.
Okay. Who wants to deal with these townfolk?
The zombies would love to volunteer to deal with the townsfolk.
Oh, can't let them.
Zombies. Can I pretend to be a zombie?
Yeah, I think you've got a good enough disguise kit for that.
Right.
Okay, cool. So I have a convincing fake. Okay, I guess that would just be disguise kit. Okay, cool. Dabble to try to imitate someone's specific appearance. All right, let's try to get this costume up. 3 and dabble.
Okay, so are you using Master of Disguise again, or is this just the putting a costume on?
What does Master of Disguise give me?
That was the
Finesse?
special ability that let you flash back to be merged into the enemy army already. You
No.
used it a few times and then realized that maybe it wasn't the best fit for your build.
No. I mean, I think it does the same thing as disguise kit, right? So it would be like me currently.
It's how you remember when those bandits were attacking you and you flash back to have been one of the bandits all along.
Right. So
Yes.
can I like convince everybody and disguise everybody as zombies?
With your disguise kit, sure, but then you'll still be up in the tower and have to work your way down and try to get into the zombie horde if you're not using the
Right.
special ability.
Okay. Team, what do you think? Should I just teleport over there and like be there?
If you're feeling it, sure.
If the rest of the party is still going to be shooting the cannon at the zombies,
Sure.
that might
Yeah.
not be the best place to be.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. We have the big can. Okay. No. I mean, we're just gonna keep using the cannon, right? The cannon
There you
was
go.
kicking their asses. Yeah. Right. We had a cannon. Oh,
So
man.
the complication is they're now right next to the townsfolk. So firing the cannon is going to be risky.
Mm-hmm.
Poor townsfolk.
Aim for the slow ones in the crowd, the ones doing not the other people.
Ian, what do the odds look like in terms of defenders on the walls versus the zombies?
So I just made a townsfolk card here on the Roll20. So they are about the same scale, but they're lower threat because the undead are tougher. But yeah, I've gave them an 8 clock for how many defenders you have. That's mostly the reinforcements from the bone golems you got. And then this guard clock represents the wall itself. And so that's also going to help keep them safe. And there's only a few zombies left. But behind the zombies, there is still the Furs squad and the king himself.
Yep. I think I would say that the thing to do is to for now, let the townsfolk deal with the zombies, because behind the zombies are the big bads, and we can still shoot at them for now without hitting the townsfolk.
Well, if you two can handle the gun, I can go save the townsfolk or lead them to safety.
Well, the thing is, you're the one who is really good at shooting this gun.
That's true.
Grigsby, sit, stay, fire.
Okay.
I know you're itching to get into the battle there, Grigsby, but we need you here at the gun for now. I'm sure your turn will come to get into hand-to-hand combat.
Isn't Elise with us?
Jack, did you want to check off your special box to bring Elise again?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I think she's been useful and helpful, so
Then
I will do that.
She was here all along.
It would be good to have her help the townsfolk in regards of the zombies. That would be a good spot for her.
All right. Why don't we ask her to do that?
Okay. You want to roll a hunt roll to give her some useful commands, or just put her there?
Sure. So I have 1 die in hunt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not feeling like spending a lot of stress here.
Well, she's probably going to have 0 effect all by herself against that many zombies.
Right. Well, what if we just ask her to position herself there and be available in case of need?
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Okay, so that wouldn't be an action, really.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so I think that we should load up the cannon and hit the, let's see, who do we have in the back?
So right behind the zombies are the furs. There's still a chance that if you totally miss, you'd hit the townsfolk, but more likely you'll just hit them. And then behind them, at this point, the only ones left in the back line are Orthane Kinslayer, the Orthane's bodyguard, who's some sort of Ashva with ice powers that you haven't researched yet. And then a few Mantry, which are sort of like the doctors or medics of their culture.
All right, so the furs, could you remind me what those are again?
So the furs are just sort of the standard adult form of a revenant. They've got a spike for implanting babies into people's chests and turning them into zombies. They've got the death mist. They've got the inherent armor, although you've melted all of their armor with elixir, which also stops them from using the death mist. But then the last ability they have is when they die, mutagen is pumped out from their heart into their body, and they mutate into a new form, usually something that helps them retaliate against whatever killed them.
Well, I think we're going to have to kill these guys for the first time.
Freaking Warmonger. What's his name? The guy who kills
and then we'll have to kill them again. But we can't kill them again until we kill them the first time.
Doomsday.
So what do we have that's going to hurt these furs?
They're only threat 2, scale 2, so cannon explosive shell would actually have greater effect against them.
Since we've melted their
armor. Yep.
Yeah. That would be a good idea.
You just can't kill them the same way twice, or it'll be really hard. They're going to adapt.
Yeah, all the ones who are killed by the cannon shell and survive will mutate into something that can counter cannon attacks.
Well, I think that's a risk we need to take. We need to kill them for the first time. Then we'll figure out how to kill them the second time.
Is this the only cannon in the city?
So there's a parallel tower to this one all the way across the bay. But like this tower, it's still pointed out towards the ocean and would need somebody to adapt it if you wanted it to turn this way.
Yep. Well, we could flash back on that one if we needed to, but for now, I think we've got the cannon that's in the right place.
Yeah, there are also light cannons down in the harbor on ships and stuff, but if the Revenants get that far, you've probably lost a lot of people at that point.
Yeah.
True.
Well, we're going to try to avoid that. All right. So what do we need to do to take a shot at the first?
You've still got a supply of explosive shells, so somebody just needs to load it with either lift or finesse, and then somebody else needs to aim it with hunt or survey.
All right. What we've been doing is having me load with finesse, which I have 2 dice in, and then Grigsby aim and fire the cannon. So I think I'm going to make a roll to load up explosive shells.
All right, that should be controlled normal.
Okay, so I'm rolling 2 dice, and I get a 6.
All right, think you've got the shell loaded up.
All right.
Meanwhile,
Grigsby, you may fire when ready, Grigsby.
All right.
So to roll the sighted in, you got to peek your head out the window a bit. So I'll say that's probably risky normal. Actually, no, you got rid of the sniper, so that's still controlled normal.
All right, I'm just rolling 3d6 then.
There you go. All right, you got your shot dialed in,
Right.
and now it is a fortune roll. I don't remember how many dice are on the fortune roll for a cannon. Let me look that up.
Yeah, and Irma was rolling all the fortune rolls for the last one with the 2 6s.
It's a 2d6 fortune roll for a cannon shot.
Okay. Are we making me roll again?
Yep.
Okay. Here we go.
Ooh.
Oh.
So let me make a quick fortune roll to see which direction that misses in.
Oh
So I think this is the part
Okay.
where I say that I am down with the townsfolk.
So the explosive shell overshoots the enemy lines and explodes behind them in the distance.
Okay.
Oh, darn.
That's a good direction to miss in.
Same plan again?
Yeah, I'm fine with continuing this until they get themselves in closer, and we can't shoot at the furs anymore. So I'll give that a shot again. So that's 2 dice
Yep.
for me, loading the
Normal.
shell up. Okay, and a 5.
Okay. So you've successfully loaded it, but the consequence is you only have 1 explosive shell left.
Okay.
Cool. Let's make it count. Okay, what's the position?
Should still be controlled normal.
Yeah.
6. All right. You got another perfectly aimed shot.
Boom.
Irma, you want to make that fortune roll?
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
It was the last one, and there's a reason for that.
At least
gonna be
there are
like
no
that.
critical failures in this game.
Boom. This one goes, actually, it doesn't explode. It flies off into that canyon that was Grigsby spotted earlier, and just you don't see it again after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, misfortune.
You got one explosive shell left.
I think we should use it.
All right.
All right.
I'm gonna set up Irma for the
yeah.
shot. So I'm gonna do my survey as a setup action.
Well, so Irma's making a fortune roll, but if you improve effect on your survey, that will that'll give more dice to the fortune roll.
Okay.
Okay.
So, for example, you could trade position for effect, or you could push for effect when aiming.
Mhm.
Honestly, Grigsby, leave it.
Okay. All right.
Save your stress, and I would prefer to continue firing our last shot in controlled position. So
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna see if I can reload this thing.
You do?
All right. Kaboom. 5. All right.
All right. So you have successfully aimed it, except I'm going to have the consequence be reduced effect. So if you take that consequence, you're only going to have 1d for the fortune roll this time.
Sure.
Ian gets his result anyway.
Let's do it.
1 die.
Mm-hmm.
All right, there was
Do or
nothing.
die.
Oh my god.
Oh man. Oh wow. All right.
Oh gosh, I am so glad this is going now instead of against the king. Swoosh.
And so behind the enemy forces, this time all the way on the left, boom, another explosion. You've now hit every spot behind them.
At least we didn't kill any of the townsfolk.
Yep. Lucky fortune rolls for that.
Grigsby's gonna be like, reload again. We were very close.
All right. Well, that was our last explosive round.
Damn.
Is anything so? There's now a melee between the townsfolk and the zombies.
That's right.
Okay. Do we have a sense of how that's going, or should I not ask?
It seems to be a pretty even battle now, which is why the furs are looking to move in and tip the odds.
Right. So we're out of explosive shells.
Mhm.
But if I remember correctly, we still have other shells like the red oil, elixir, and I think there was one other one, wasn't there?
Anbar,
Anbar.
the sticky one.
All right.
Although sticking them in place won't be as useful if they're already in melee with your guys.
Yep.
Same with setting them on fire, really. But elixir wouldn't be bad. Elixir would only hurt zombies, not townsfolk.
Mm-hmm. So we could fire right into there, fire at the zombies with minimal chance of doing significant harm to the townsfolk.
Yeah, in fact, if anything, it'll actually heal any townsfolk who are injured.
Oh.
It might actually be a really good idea because honestly, they only have one tick left on their clock, so we can knock that out.
All right.
Yeah,
Gives us less to interact with.
All right, so I'm going to roll finesse to load up the cannon.
Zombies.
And a
All
6.
right. You pour the elixir supply into Irma's canister shot.
Grigsby.
Okay. Let's go. Controlled or risky?
Still controlled normal.
Okay.
Okay. You load up the shell, and when you look out, you see that the furs have moved up, and they are going to put 2 ticks. Oh no, sorry, controlled consequence. 1 tick on the wall clock here to represent the damage they're doing to the fortifications.
All right. What exactly are they doing?
So the furs are using the zombies as a ramp to climb up onto the walls, and they're planting explosives to blast them.
Mm.
Okay. All right, so we fired that shot.
You've aimed it.
Aimed it. I have to roll it.
Yeah, you got 2 dice this time, though. What could go wrong?
Nichelle's rolls.
Okay, so that is a near miss, which with a canister shot, I think is just -1 effect. So that's still enough to finish off the zombies.
All right.
Nice.
So they don't have any live zombies to be climbing up on anymore.
Live zombies. Yes.
Yeah, well, animated zombies.
That's right.
Okay. So now we have the furs and the and Orthang and his bodyguard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't forget we have the nemesis that hasn't shown up yet.
Yeah, well, there's always that.
That was good. We got the 2 to 3 down. These things that cannot be killed, the furs. Should we go after them next?
Yeah, well, I think that's kind of the next. Next wave is the first life of the furs.
Yeah, they're up on the walls now, so it's going to be tricky to hit them without hitting the townsfolk.
Don't forget, guys, we still have an alliance favor card we haven't turned in yet.
That's true.
I was thinking that that it might make sense to call in the fairies.
Yeah.
Sure. So,
do we have any other allies on the battlefield right now?
The goblins. right?
Yeah, so the goblins took down that Yuvraj, and that used up
Right.
a lot of their resources.
Okay.
And then you've got those bone golems who are reinforcing the townsfolk on the front line.
Okay.
And then the third ally you have is really just the town itself.
Right, which we're kind of using.
Mhm.
So the big reserve we have right now is the ferries.
Yes. And so for some examples of what an epic support box could do, deploy an Imperial Navy airship, a Dwarven war train, or other large vehicle to suppress an army for the duration of a mission or engage a king directly, or to blast a hole in fortified defenses. You could deploy a task force of their most elite units. So that was what I was saying, like a whole squad of mustard seed
Right.
caliber
Level people.
Yep.
Well,
And then the last suggested use is you can actually have them make a diplomatic concession, such as granting amnesty to a king in exchange for him surrendering, that sort of thing.
well, I'm guessing that an offer to surrender at this point, or a demand to surrender at this point, there isn't much we could do with the ferries to sweeten that pot.
Yeah,
quite.
you'd be starting at zero effect for now.
Yeah.
We'll see how that swings as the battle goes
Yeah,
on.
that could swing around, but for now. So
I would almost not send them after
yeah.
these guys. I would have them try to take out that guard clock of Orthanc Kingslayer.
Yeah, I think we use them against the king. I agree. So we have them.
The zombies are taken care of. Let's take care of these guys. Yes, we have to kill them multiple times, but that's okay if we plan it right.
Mm-hmm.
Doing honestly and bar to make them sticky, to kind of like seal them in place, and then setting them on fire would actually be a good use of one death.
Okay, and that's predictable too. So if we kill them with fire, what would they turn into?
Something they could counter fire.
Right.
Yeah.
To fire.
Mm-hmm.
They might integrate the alchemic element that lets you produce water, for example.
So if we go by Pokemon's logic, right? So then we'll need like
plant attack.
A plant attack.
Or electric.
Yeah. Either.
Well,
just gotta follow up quick.
Remember that we are drawing them onto that causeway, which is the next thing that they're going to encounter past the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And they're going to have to be, coming at us in small numbers at a time down that causeway. So if this works out best, they die for the first time up on the wall here, but then they evolve into something that can cope with whatever we're attacking them with. And then we have something pre-planned that we will flash back to on that causeway to really hit them hard then.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me see what Irma's got. I think she has something that. If they do something with water, I can start using black iron powder, because that can be used in water to confuse creatures that communicate by Lethian ink.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
drug
that's more
them
like
with
the
ambrosia at the same time. But if they go anti-fire, they may be water, and that may be a way for us to interact with them there.
You could go down to that processing plant and get more of that Lethian ink that'll confuse them.
That's very
Mix that in the water.
Yeah.
If you wanted to go that route.
So I think we keep our distance for now, right?
Yeah, you're way up in a tower.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So far.
Yeah.
But there may be a point that we're going to have to go in and deal with them more directly.
Yeah. So keep shooting until they get close, right? Like that makes sense.
Yeah.
To me.
Well, they are already close to the townsfolk. They're just not close to you.
Right.
Right.
So I have an air rifle. Are these people guilty?
So their black iron armor. Oh, you melted their armor.
They don't have it.
So yeah,
Yeah.
do the furs feel guilty? That's an interesting question. I'm gonna fortune roll it. Yes.
Oh, really?
All right.
I guess they don't feel great about murdering these townsfolk.
Okay, so
Somewhere
I'm
deep in their souls, they can still feel bad.
gonna use my one supply then and give everybody guilt's weight bullets, I guess. Yeah, and then I'm gonna blast them away with my air rifle. First time
so
all
if I
game.
remember right, the effective range for the air rifle is long, and they're at extreme from you. So
Oh,
that'll be a -1 effect. But then potency will give you +1 effect. Rifle is threat 2, they're threat 2. So you would be at normal, except for the scale, which knocks you down to 0.
Right.
okay. Never mind. I'm gonna spot. That's a benefit for me.
All right. What are we loading in the cannon then? Irma?
I think actually if we do the fire oil first,
Mhm.
the red oil first and then the Anbar for their second comeback, that might work better for the guilt because that will be closer.
Will that kill the townsfolk?
Anbar?
Townsfolk are not immune to fire.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine so.
The advantage of firing the red oil before the Anbar is maybe that would give the townsfolk a chance to retreat before you set it on fire.
That makes sense to me.
Does that sound like a
Yeah.
reasonable plan?
You'd probably be
Yeah.
giving up your walls, but
Right.
could be a worthwhile trade.
Could be worth it.
Let's do it. We got to do what we can at long range. And then once they get up close, I understand we're more potent, but it'll be easier, equal fighting ground.
Yep.
Okay.
We'll take it.
So you brought a supply of red oil because they don't have that here.
Oh, okay.
I don't have a supply of red
Okay.
oil.
Yeah.
I have a supply of Anbar,
Yeah, you could load that.
elixir, and philosopher's stone.
You have a supply of philosopher's stone? Oh, as ammo. That makes sense.
Yep. That's what we decided last session.
Mhm.
Grigsby, what do you can do supply of?
Guilt's weight bullets was what I wanted to do. The
Right.
guilty-
No. Keep that.
Okay.
I have one box of supply left. I used one on the dynamite that didn't do anything useful earlier.
Yes. Isn't
So-
that dynamite planted on the battlefield though?
Yeah, we tried that and it wasn't effective. That was a bad roll last time.
Right.
And one of the as I recall, a consequence was that that used up the dynamite.
Right.
So I don't that supply box is expended, but I do have one other supply box that is not expended. If there's something that we can use that's helpful there.
Yeah, I would say the red oil would probably be a really good one to use for that.
I believe that's a Flame Knight exclusive item.
Oh wait, is it me only?
I can get it, but I only have one supply.
You only have that one supply. Give me a second.
Yep. Yeah, it's a Flame Knight. Trade.
Yeah.
Right.
See.
So not available to you to me to use for a slot.
No, which means we need to do something else because I can't actually bring another supply. I already used my 2 supply boxes.
Okay, well, we can always shoot him. Or
Well, you're out of
Okay.
explosive shells, so you're running out
I'd
of things
say-
to shoot at them.
Amber, right? All right. Is there a spot in between we can aim at where the townsfolk are on one side and the
No, not
trees
anymore.
are on the other one?
You could the king himself and his bodyguard are a little further back. You could maybe try to stick them down. But
We
the
don't
furs
stick
are
them.
already up in the townsfolk's faces.
All right.
Right.
So-
So this cannon is really most useful for
Keep
given that we're
firing
not-
long range. Keep firing long range. Irma can go down to help the townsfolk and Elise to do close range.
Yeah, and if you can create space while you're down there, then they can fire another shot.
Hold on.
Yeah.
If we just freeze them in amber, will that just freeze the battle?
So they'll be stuck, well, slowed, but still be able to reach each other.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Which
it'll
means that they
slow the
can
battle
pretty
down,
much
but not freeze
Kill
it.
each other and then
But
rebuild.
it slows
we could-
down the casualties, right?
Sure.
Yep. If we can stick the king and slow him down, then that means we can deal with everyone else, and then suddenly he's by himself.
Forget
Yeah.
his guard clock.
Yeah, he'll probably spend his guard clock to avoid that, but that's good. You'll be burning
that
his guard
uses-
clock.
Uses
Yep.
that up. So
Yeah.
I'm going to suggest that we try to fire the sticky stuff at the king.
Okay.
Do it.
And we're using Irma's supply, right? So I think that means that you're gonna just fill the canister with your Anbar
Yeah.
from
Okay.
your gross mutation power.
I promise it is just normal bodily function.
All right, Jack, you want to load that sticky canister in there?
Sure, I'll try to not get myself stuck in the process.
All righty.
And I
Ooh,
roll a 3.
look, you got stuck. So yeah, I'm gonna say the controlled consequence there is the sticky stuff is gotten on the mechanisms for the canisters. You've only got one left that's still usable.
After this shot or with this shot?
Well, this shot failed, so
Right,
yeah,
right.
your next shot is your last one.
Okay. All right.
Unless you resist.
Can I
of
make
course.
another try? No, I don't want to resist that. I think the stress is going to be needed later.
Yep.
All right. So, well, dang. Let's try that one more time.
All right.
A 5.
Better. So you load it in, and in the meantime, the furs continue to batter down the defenses.
Mhm.
And one of them just busted open the gate, so more of them are flooding in through the front.
All right.
Yeah,
So,
I think Irma would be down there with Elise and the townfolk.
Okay. So you're gonna be running there while this is all happening.
Yep.
is there, as the gate is opening, is there any opportunity to fire straight through the gate?
The way I'm picturing it in my head, those angles don't make sense. But
Okay.
if somebody wants to make a survey roll, they could find a way.
Okay.
I happen to know somebody who has pretty good rating in survey.
That I do. That I
Okay,
do.
so when you're aiming, do you want to change your target to the gate instead of the king?
Yeah, right. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, I think so. To try to find an opportunity where the townsfolk have backed off because the furs have busted open the gate, and so they've backed away, and we have a moment
Mhm.
when we can fire right down into them
Mhm.
and stick them in place.
All right, let's do it. Position effect.
So yeah, it should still be controlled normal.
Ooh, 4. Okay.
All right.
Shake it off. Shake it off.
so
Come on, champs.
you-
Come on, champs.
You've aimed,
Just gotta-
and then the consequence is going to be that the king himself is going to push into the army and join the furs on the front line.
All right.
Okay.
Cool.
Join them as of at the gate.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And that's where Irma's heading. Okay. Okay. All right. Fortune roll. How many dice do we have?
You got 2d6, and you're going to want a direct hit if you want it to go through the gate. So that's a 6.
Come on.
Not that there's anything anyone could do about that. Just saying.
All right, here it goes.
Oh, mamma mia.
And let's see that fortune roll.
It's just not working out. Fortune roll.
Overshoots
I'll tell you
again.
what's gonna happen is when it comes time for my resistance rolls, I'll do that.
Okay.
We gotta shake it off, team. It's the playoffs.
You are all out of alchemic shells and explosive shells. So you might be out of things to do with the cannon. Unless somebody wants to spend a supply on more.
Right.
No.
Unless we want to pick up the cannon and throw it at them.
There probably is another supply of explosive shells at the other cannon all the way across the canyon. But
Sure.
that's a long trip.
That would be a long trip. And of course, we could try flashbacking, but I assume you'd make us spend stress for that. Well, I still have a supply box. Can I use that to conveniently find some more explosive shells?
Yes.
Okay. I think it might be worth doing that under these circumstances, because
We're thinking about where you're going to aim them at this point. Now that
that's the thing. The townsfolk are useful, but they also are and they've been slowing the enemy down very nicely. But they are also a hostage.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta save them. What about the fairies? Should we bring them the fairies right now?
You can. Do you have a plan for what they're going to do?
Yeah, what are they going to do? So that we could have a group of their most elite warriors show up. We still have the furs and the king, so I had hoped to use them after we had dealt with the furs, and then use them as our ace in the hole against the king. Because we're going to be running out of resources really soon. Well, the other thing to do is go down there and
we got to bring more of our team into play, I think.
Yep. Well, actually, they've busted through the gate, so this wall is not useful anymore.
Okay.
And so the next defense we have is this causeway. And having explosive shells are going to... The cannon will bear on that causeway, correct?
Yeah, it's a tough shot, but you could make it.
Where are the golems and stuff? Like our bone golems? Are they occupied right now?
Yeah, they're fighting on the wall and behind the gate.
Who are they fighting? Who are they fighting?
The furs and now the king as well.
Okay.
So we could call retreat. And have the townsfolk and the bone golems, the golems, etc., back off in the hopes that we can roll something other than a horrific failure.
I'm sorry, you're looking at me.
Retreat to the second ring.
It's just the way the dice are going today.
Yeah.
But if we call a retreat and bring the cannon to bear on that causeway, we could try to hit the furs right there, and they'll be bunched up in a small group. Easier to hit with explosives or whatever. Does that sound like a plan?
That sounds like a plan, and I think also with Irma being down there with Elise, I think that would another water knight. I think that would also be beneficial to try to knock out as much of that guard clock of his as possible.
Yeah, if we could hit the those guys with explosives, and then you hit them with water-based attacks, then whatever they've evolved to cope with the explosives is not going to be helpful against water-based attacks.
Probably.
No, and the fact that I usually also shoot with my ants. I doubt they're going to evolve into something that's
those are going to
effective
be
against
so
ants.
we're going to need very different kinds of attacks against them. So I think it might be useful to use my point of supply, my remaining last point of supply, to get some explosive shells. And I'll within the story, what I'll say is that we've all along, a while back, we told some of the townsfolk who were just hanging out to go and get some shells from the other cannon and bring them here.
And that's but that's using your supply, or do you want to actually do that as a flashback? Because you could do that as a real flashback with Hunt if you spend some stress.
Right. Well, I only have one dot in Hunt. I think I want to expend that supply. And, I mean, within the story, I'm going to say that's how it's playing out. But within the mechanics, to use that point of supply to have some explosive shells conveniently available now.
Yeah, they brought them up. They brought them up from town, probably.
Yeah. Okay. So now we have some explosive shells. We want to call. So Irma, why don't you get those folks back?
Okay.
Okay. So ordering them to retreat would be a Hunt roll, probably normal desperate. Covering their retreat, you could maybe do as like a setup action to improve that. Technically, you could make an emote roll to rout them. Just be like, all is lost, run away. It'll be harder to get them back into fighting formation after you do that, though.
Yeah, if we tell them to run away and save themselves.
Save your asses for another time when I need you to take the bullet for me.
So it would be, if we can manage to have them retreat in good order, that would be better.
You do realize that Irma only has one dot in Hunt, right?
Yeah, well.
Yeah, and 2 in emote.
I can lead the townsfolk. I can.
Yes, you do it. Or actually, you can do a setup for a survey. It might be good. That would give me a little bit better position for it.
Yeah, you could definitely do a survey setup here, maybe by finding a fortification for them to fall back to, so they at least are running somewhere instead of just running.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, and where do you want this fortification set up?
Where do I want this fortification to set up? I want this fortification to set up in the most fortuitous place for us. So yeah, wherever is most convenient.
Maybe at the bottom of the ramp down in the town?
Yeah, I think so.
Sounds good.
Okay. So I'm going to say you're probably at limited effect for that, just to have already built a fortification or find one. And should be a probably risky position, I would say.
All right. So let's say that there's down at the bottom, there's a fortified house that's been there all along, assuming we can roll well enough for that. But that's where we're having them rally to.
Yeah, with limited, it'll probably be a smaller barricade, but
something.
Cool. All right, let's see what happens. 5.
Okay. So sure enough, you do have a little barricade set up down at the bottom of the ramp that you let Irma know about. So that'll improve position on that roll.
It's all part of the plan.
However, as a consequence, while you're coordinating this, they finish demolishing the wall. So there is now nothing between them and directly attacking the townsfolk.
Right. So big holes in the wall. All right. Irma, it's up to you. You need to save those people.
So
I have
this
to
is
save NPCs? I don't get paid enough
character
for
arc.
This
this. I don't get paid for this?
This is character development.
I
Save
need to get paid
NPCs.
for this.
Risky normal hunt roll. Are you retreating with them, or are you and Elise bravely staying behind on the wall to be completely surrounded
I
by
am
the
using
undead?
this as an action to put their focus on me instead of the townsfolk.
The ethics of NPCs.
Well, right now his focus is on the tower where the cannon is, but yeah, you could put it on yourself.
Yes. Yes, I
Oh
want
no,
to.
yeah, he's got
Damn
two
heroes.
focuses. So yeah,
Yeah.
one is probably on the townsfolk.
Yeah. I want it on me.
Okay. So you're gonna have everybody else retreat, and you're gonna stay behind alone against all these enemies.
I can be there. I can hide somewhere.
Yeah.
Just pop in enemies.
Become the
You
barrel.
just aimed the cannon like a second ago. I'm gonna want to see a barrel roll if you want to teleport extreme distance.
We also need you to shoot the cannon. Or
Yeah.
aim
Shoot
the
the
Right.
cannon.
That's right. Cannons. Ain't doing nothing for us tonight. Okay. All right.
All right. Would you say that I am utilizing Guardian?
How does that work?
When you protect a teammate, take a +1 die to resistance rolls. Also
Yeah.
takes one less stress
Yeah,
to push yourself
that
on
seems fine.
actions. Yeah.
It
okay.
fits the spirit.
Yeah, and Elise is definitely a teammate at this point.
Yeah, but it
True.
also helps
Although
with
I assume that
reducing...
Elise is staying behind with Irma, not retreating, right?
Right. Yeah. Okay. And that was a setup action survey, which means that I can...
Improve position. That's why you're at risky normal instead of desperate normal.
Mhm.
All right. Here we go.
Ooh.
4.
I rolled a 4, folks.
Okay.
We are
So-
making progress.
It's not a fail.
The townsfolk stream down the ramp towards the fortification at the bottom of the ramp, and the furs mostly follow along. However, the first consequence is that they are going to catch some of the townsfolk. So I'm going to put 1 tick on their clock. And the other consequence is that a small gang of the furs breaks off and surrounds Irma.
Oh, jeez.
So I'm gonna give them their own
Would you
card.
say that they are focused on me?
Yes.
Seems pretty.
So when I do a reaction,
so no, okay. So mechanically, they don't have a focus. If that, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I am going to resist them having such good footing against me. I think that this was kind of my plan, and I would have set up for being in the right spot.
Okay,
To
that sounds
think
like an awareness
to think
resist.
that they are, going to have it, but not really.
So that's an awareness resist.
Yes.
Mhm.
They get a +1 die because I'm doing Guardian. Oh, geez, Michelle, roll better.
Yes.
Okay. So no stress. And then
Back in business, baby.
how would you like to retreat or to avoid being encircled? Do you like climb up to the very tip top of the wall, or are you going down into the fort, or how are you avoiding being encircled by them? What's your better position?
You could go down the
I
cliff.
kind of view it of like they're coming in the wall and the gate, and like Irma is like kind of set up like on that ramp and everything that we want them to go up onto. She's just kind of like holding the bridge. You shall not pass.
Oh,
Something like
the ramp going down into the town?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that would put you against all of them, but you're not surrounded then. So I can go ahead and take that card back out. All right. Yeah.
All right.
And so the king is going to keep his controlled focus on the townsfolk, but he's going to put his risky focus on you, Irma.
Woo! I'm in the center of attention. Which is
So I
what
think
Irma's
that
always
gives
wanted.
you something with bait.
+1 morale.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So I'll make sure to mark that.
All right. Are we in a situation where we could potentially fire the cannon at a group of the enemy without placing our friends at significant risk?
Depends. Do you consider Irma and Elise to be your friends? Because they are single-handedly holding
They're
back
right-
the horde.
They're right there. Okay.
Yep.
So the plan was to be out of the way. So I'm gonna load the cannon. We're not gonna fire until we have a clear shot, but I'm loading the cannon. Does that sound reasonable?
Yep. Controlled normal.
Yep. 5.
Okay. You load the cannon. The consequence is going to be you'll only have 1 explosive shell left. Do you want to resist that?
No.
All right. So the townsfolk managed to scrounge up 2 explosive shells for you.
All right. So we got one of them loaded up.
Yep. All right.
And Grigsby, could you just lay the gun on where we think the target is going to be?
I can do that. Do I have any abilities to help me?
So
here?
it'll still be controlled normal. Remember, if you can boost effect here, then it'll make the fortune roll more accurate and improve your chances.
Well, I'm setting up, right?
What do you mean?
Because I have attention to detail. Improved effect when you set up with survey. Whenever an action that benefits from your survey setup rolls a 6, gain 1 morale.
Yeah, I'm not totally sure how those would interact, but maybe.
Attention to
you
detail.
are kind of setting up the fortune roll. Might have to workshop that mechanic.
You must pay attention. Hey, I was attention to detailing.
yeah. All right. So if you roll a 6, you'll get a morale on the 6 on the fortune roll.
So improved effect as well.
Yeah. Okay. So that'll be +1d now.
Nice.
Okay. Roll 3d6. Yes.
6.
Okay. So it's now a 3d fortune roll.
Okay.
Crap! You still want me to roll the fortune?
And so on a direct hit, Irma and Elise will only take a little damage. On a near miss, they're risking a lot of damage.
Want me to roll for this one?
Or
No, I'll roll. I'm sticking with it.
Okay.
Do they have a retreat?
Yeah, this might be a time for you guys to fall back.
Yeah, you're not trying to hold them.
If I do any action, though, somebody's focus goes off on me.
It's not going to matter because we're going to smoke them right here. We're going to smoke them right here. We just got to believe.
Right. So I'm going to stay put.
Okay.
I have to stay put.
Okay. I think you should do the fortune roll then, since you're the one at risk.
That sounds right. Although you've been rolling terribly on fortune rolls.
Tell me anything else.
No, you got to believe. Yes!
Oh! Wow. An incredible shot. 1 in a million.
We threaded that needle.
Yes.
All right. And so the explosive shell hits right behind the king, and his body shields Irma and Elise.
Yes.
Okay.
Please tell me that used up some of his stinking guard clock with the crit.
Well, it's a crit, so it should do some
more than
useful
that.
stuff.
It took out half the furs and is going to use up 2 ticks on his guard clock.
Oh man, he's still got
to avoid the harm himself.
That was pretty nice. So he dives out of the way.
So yeah, let me think for a second about how I'm going to narrate that. I think what it actually is
strong muscles.
he gives an order to his Arctic bodyguard, who has sort of a souped-up version of that cooler shield that I think Irma used a few episodes ago.
Yeah.
He's got a really strong version of that, and so he swings it and creates a huge pair of ice walls that he puts down, and that blocks the blast from hitting the king and from hitting Irma and Elise.
We got
That's a nice
waterbender
stick. Secondly, that's a knockoff. It's not the real deal.
All right, and so we're going into our break now, and then when we come back in about 5 minutes, I'll have decided what the dead ones mutate into.
Yeah, that's the thing.
All right.
Well, this is a great stopping point, I think.
Yep.